G'day there, Ian Wilson from Aviation here again. In my last video I mentioned that we were going to have a look at how we set up platforms like Maestro to satisfy the requirements of safety and quality management systems for aviation businesses. So what I've got in front of me here, and this is an unscripted chat, so bear with me while I stumble over my words occasionally. What I've got in front of me here is the home screen for Maestro. So if you're a user of Maestro, you'll recognise that, and you'll be aware that Maestro, whilst it's extremely capable, is also highly customisable, and that's its Achilles heel, I guess, as well as its great advantage. It allows you to build processes to whatever degree and in whatever way you like. But if you don't know how to do that properly and you don't know what you need to build, then it's just an empty shell that many parts of which become useless. And often when we go into businesses, we just find that people are using it to do flight and duty times. They're taking safety reports in, but they're not doing anything with them, and they're not collecting the data that's going into the system and using it to help them make good business decisions based on strong business intelligence. So we tend to work at Aviation, we tend to work in this area in the back, the back of the front end of Maestro, if you like. In this safety section here, you can see hazard and risk register setup, risk matrix, and all of the areas that correlate to this part of the drop-down menu on the left-hand side. I'll just move myself across the other side of the screen there. So this is your safety management section. If I could change that to systems management or HSEQ management, or just management, it would be better, because we just do everything in here. The operations part of the system we also work in. I'll get to that in the next video. But for the moment, let's just talk about this safety section. So we work in this area here, customizing the system to the needs of the client. What we're looking at here is our own clean platform of Maestro, and this is the place from which we draw our custom builds to move across to a client's platform, your platform if you've already got one, or a new setup if you decide that Maestro is what you want to use. So we start with the risk matrix, and we bring across our own version of the risk matrix, which is a 5x5 that's based on the ICAO model for that. And so you don't have to worry about building it. We put all the definitions in place, and it becomes the basis on which you assess risk in most cases. So for more complex events, we do produce bow tie hazard and risk assessment and monitoring processes for those. So that's the risk matrix, very straightforward, a simple start. We also fully build your hazard and risk matrix, and you can see that here that there's a significant structural build that goes on there. What we find is we go into clients' Maestro platforms, and their hazard and risk management processes using the platform are either non-existent or inadequate, and they might have an Excel spreadsheet sitting in a desk drawer somewhere, or on a PDF that's not live, doesn't get updated, and isn't a real reflection of the hazards that exist for the business in terms of, as you can see here, quality, safety, health, environment, security, or hazards associated with specific tasks that you undertake. So we end up, in many cases, just completely stripping out the existing hazard register and rebuilding it, because there's such a common lack of understanding regarding simple definitions of hazard and risk in association with aviation, certainly a misunderstanding as to how control measures need to be applied and what the calculation of residual risk is based on. So we start from scratch with this. And because we've built this thing already, it comes across very quickly to your platform, or it appears in your new platform. And it's the engine room on which the entire safety management and quality management system and other systems are built. If you don't have this thing structured properly, if it's not linking to your audit module and your safety reporting module properly, then you're not running an integrated, living, breathing safety and quality management system. So a lot of work in that area for us, but it's so we pull that across very quickly, but then we generally divert our attention to these parts of the of the platform. So safety custom fields and safety options. Excuse me. We bring across a bunch of reporting types, which include ERP, and we run all our governance processes through the safety reporting part of our Maestro. Little tip for you, if you want to have a crack at that yourself, but we do this, so you don't need to if you wanted to get Aviarc across to set this system up for you. Management of change, we and all your standard reports: engineering defect, environmental fatigue, flight ground hazard, confidential report type standalone, and we run, as I said, all our meetings through here. So we set that all up for you, and we embed in those safety options the custom fields that are needed to run them properly. So these ones at the top here are the ones that you'll get automatically loaded across when you buy your platform from Velox Group. And these ones here are the ones that we've built to manage HSEQ properly within an aviation context. I won't go through the actual custom fields. There's a bunch of fields in there that help us to create data points that allow us to pull data to bring you the information you need to, as I said, make good business decisions based on real live information. And in a video down the track, I'm going to show you some dashboards that we use for that purpose. So we work in that safety custom fields and options area. We also bring across all your checklist templates, we do the audit setup for you, and we have a type register that's based on an ISO style taxonomy, so that things are organised. And we also bring across an audit schedule for you, which you won't see in here because everyone has a different one of those. So that audit schedule is placed into your platform, populated with audit typology, and the typologies are used to meet your audit scheduling requirements, whether that's first party, second party, or third party. And each one of the types is loaded up with a checklist that we also bring across. So you don't have to worry about any of that. And finally, this actions section, which is, it's not something that you need to build, but it is something that you need to use properly in order to, ensure that your system that your platform is supporting your business correctly. It is all about action in the end. So many of those meetings, Quality Safety Action Group, Fatigue Safety Action Group, all have that word in them, and it's in there for a reason. So the other work we do centres around the operations section of our Maestro. We provide a whole lot of forms that come across to your platform. These are just a sample. We have many different types of forms available, but certain things are, are required for minimal management of a smallish aviation business. And for larger businesses, we create all sorts of forms for them too. So approved vendor evaluation, so these are quality management focused, aircraft onboarding management, safety and quality focused. These emergency response plan action form, which we use to support ERP exercises and real ERPs. So it provides a basis on which your senior managers can ensure that they're meeting the requirements outlined for them in your emergency response plan if something does go wrong, and it's accessible through the progressive web app that Avinet provide for our Maestro as well. Operational risk assessment, an excellent tool. I'm not showing you the actual build of it there, but what that allows us to do is pull data that is used for predictive hazard and risk modelling. So it's grabbing information that your pilots and engineers are seeing, hazard information that they're seeing on the front line, applying their concept of risk to it, how they feel about the risk associated with the encounter of those hazards, and then allowing us to pull that data and push it into a dashboard that gives us Safety 2 style modelling. And I will talk about Safety 1 and Safety 2 in a future video on SMS in general, an SMS training video for executives. So operational risk assessment tool form is very important. We also produce all the training courses required for your business. We link them to recencies and check forms, and we produce all the check forms required for flight operations, safety and quality management, or any other department within your business. So it's a full custom build of the Air Maestro platform that removes the need for you to worry about doing that and gets the system running properly and in a compliant fashion right from the word go. And one other thing that we do is this flight record setup here, and we do many things within that operations area, but the flight record setup is really important, and we've found that this template that we've created is an excellent source of data for the business. Flight records talks with timesheets, it talks with the aircraft module within Air Maestro, and it allows us to track total time in service and do quality checks against maintenance release information. We track fuel usage, client workload, aircraft trend monitoring data, anything you want. But we've found that this template that we've created here is pretty well exactly what's needed to ensure that you're meeting all your regulatory compliance, and it takes that annoying need to to track fuel usage across the fleet, on bits of paper and in Excel spreadsheets. It all centralises it all. It catches the pilot at the end of the shift for the 10 or 15 minutes you've got them before they head off home, and grabs all the information they've accrued during the day, and that includes their timesheet information, fatigue management information. All of that data goes into this sheet and allows us to feed the business operational information within a 10-minute span at the end of a pilot shift. So a very, very active and important part of the Air Maestro custom build that we set up. So that's it for this video. I won't take you through each module and show you those operational sections. The next video I'm going to show you is about, we'll we'll demonstrate the dashboards that we build to pull all that data out using the global reporting section of Air Maestro. Thanks very much. I'm Ian Wilson from Aviation. Have a great day, and let's be safe out there. Cheers.